Imagine a world without choices. Imagine you can't make your own decision. That wouldn't be a world for me. That wouldn't be a world for you. UIC.
Tell them we're gonna be stronger. Together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. Gonna be stronger together. Time we all just unify. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. It is a natural right for every human being to be free. Free, so free. So the government is there to protect you and me. UIC objective is to liberate the citizens from colonial bondage, them regulation, them taxation. Rob Jamaica, we independent and strong. Stronger.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of UIC Liberty TV. My name is Joseph Patterson, and I'm here tonight to speak with you and to share with you as we talk to another up-and-coming political movement in Jamaica. We're supposed to be talking with Mr. Carlos Daley of the Jamaica Patriotic Movement. Mr. Daley has been working at this for some time and is going to host a conference on August 20th, 2023 to usher in a new movement or ideology in our politics. So I wanted to talk with him, but unfortunately, I just got a message that Mr. Daley has fallen ill and will not be able to join us tonight. It's very, very unfortunate. However, I think another young man from the Jamaica Patriotic Movement, JPM, will be on tonight to speak with me. He was on a minute ago, but he's having some technical difficulties. So hopefully that will be fixed and he'll be on with me shortly. But big welcome to all of you. Good evening, Roland Forbes, Carol Spence, JMH, Blue Wave, Cool Guy, and Gloria Williams. Good to see you all on. To all our friends out there on Facebook and Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Good to see you all on. Hope you're doing well. So our topic tonight is really to look at sharing some experiences that we might have in common with the Jamaica Patriotic Movement and some challenges that we face as an organization, talk about the similarities and so on. But I hope you're all doing well otherwise. Let me know where you're calling in from. Roland Forbes, where are you? Where are you located? If you just quickly type in the text area where you're calling in from or where you're viewing from, that would be, very much appreciated. So some of the questions I wanted to ask Mr. Daley was just to tell us about the movement. It's always encouraging when you see new political parties springing up. You want to know what they're about, what they bring to the table, what kind of change they're offering Jamaica. You all know the UIC. Our platform is pretty straightforward. We're in the business of, so Blue Wave is from Otrius. Good to have you in. And Roland Forbes from Houston, Texas. I remember my short stint in Texas. I worked with a sales and merchandising company doing a software implementation back in the, when was that? Many years ago. And I went to Texas for the first time in my life. Very, very flat place. It's quite a flat country. And I'm a vegetarian, so when I went into their restaurants, it was quite interesting when I have to, order something from the menu. And they would say, what do you want? I said, what do you have, a vegetarian? And the waiter actually burst out into laughter. They started to laugh uncontrollably. I didn't take offense. I laughed back with him to laugh at myself. And they said, well, we have some lettuce and carrot maybe in the back there. But anyways, they fixed me up good and proper. We had a nice pasta dish and so on. But I always remember that experience, my first time in Texas. So good to have you on, Mr. Forbes, and Blue Wave from Otrius. Good to have you on as well. Otrius is one of my favorite places. St. Anne in general, a beautiful parish. I love it out there. Carol Spence. Let me see. Whoops, it looks like I'm getting Miss Janet is joining here. And we have lost Mr. Campbell. Where are you? I don't see Mr. Campbell on at all. I hope you'll join us quickly. Miss Janet, are you able? Okay, I see Mr. Campbell back here. Good evening, Mr. Campbell. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me, Mr. Campbell?
Good evening. Are you still hearing the feedback?
Let me see. No. Yes, it's there, but we'll work with it. I'm still hearing you. When I speak, it follows my voice. So I say something and then it comes out. But let's see if our viewers can hear us. Sister Janet, I see you in the back there. If you can put on your camera, that would be good. Let me know. Okay, so let's see. Good evening, Miss Eunice Brown. Good to see you on. Eunice Brown from British Virgin Islands. Wonderful to have you on. And I see Sosa Bone. Sosa Bone, how are you doing? It's been a long time since we connected. Sosa Bone Media Network. I hope everybody's familiar with that network and can check out their programs from time to time. Good to see you on Sosa Bone. Tina Moore, good evening to you. Coming to us from Ontario, Canada. Wonderful. As you all know, I've lived in Canada for a number of years, particularly Ontario. But I must admit, my favorite place in Canada is a place called British Columbia, Victoria in particular. Beautiful, beautiful place. Anyways, Mr. Campbell, can you hear me clearly?
Yes. Are you hearing the feedback?
No more feedback, so problem fixed. In fact, it's there, but very minor now, very minor. So we're not going to worry about it. So welcome again, Mr. Campbell. I have already told our viewers that tonight we're expecting Mr. Carlos Daley, who is the founder and president of the Jamaica Patriotic Movement. Did I get that right?
Yes, that's correct. Chairperson.
He's the chairperson?
He's a chair. He's a
Okay.
chairperson.
I thought he was the founder and president. So he's not the founder and president.
He's the founder and president, of course, but he don't like to be referred to as that.
Oh, he
Some
doesn't
strange
want to
one.
be referred to. He wants to be referred to as the chairman.
Chair.
All right. And what are you in the movement? What's your role in the movement?
Well, I like to classify myself as an instrument. But I mostly, well, as you know, I'm from the Marcus Garvey People Political Party. But I've been working with Carlos somewhat as his, I would like to say, secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Well, I have so many hats. I don't even know where to start.
Okay.
Campaign manager, secretary, admin.
Mm-hmm. So in a strange way, you're in the Marcus Garvey People Political Party, and you're also in the Jamaica Patriotic Movement. Is there a conflict of interest there?
No, there's none of the sort.
Okay. Why is that? Why is there no conflict of interest?
Well, the president of the Marcus Garvey People Political Party had agreed to with Mr. Daley that they would be in alliance. Right.
Okay. And the members of the PPP agreed with that.
That is correct.
Interesting. So basically, if when I'm talking to the Jamaica Patriotic Movement, I'm talking to the Marcus Garvey People Political Party at the same time.
That's correct. That's correct.
I didn't know that at all. So I learned something here tonight, people. So we have an alliance already. Now, give us a bit of, let me tell you, I want to go to my questions, you see, because I want to make sure that I ask you all the questions I was going to ask Carlos. So I
Oh,
was
careful now. Careful now.
so I was going to ask him, and I'll ask you so that people know you. I was going to ask him, tell us a little about yourself and who is Carlos Daley. So you're going to tell us a little about yourself and tell us a little about Carlos Daley so we kind of get an appreciation for him from your perspective. When I get him back on, if I get him back on, I'll ask him the same question. But all our viewers, Mr. Carlos Daley, the founder, president, and chairman of the Jamaica Patriotic Movement, is unable to join us tonight because he fell ill suddenly. And, we're hoping that he recovers quickly, that this is not very serious. And our thoughts and prayers are with him and hoping that we get a chance to speak and he can continue his mission. So Mr. Um, Antoine Campbell is sitting in for Mr. Daley, and we're going to ask him to tell us a little about himself and Mr. Daley before we get into the rest of our conversation. So go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
Well, quickly. As you all know, my name is Antoine Campbell. I'm a university student. Uh, I am not really important. Let me switch. Let me switch channel
Hold
and
on, don't
focus.
switch. We want to know a little about you. We don't want to just talk to somebody who we don't know. Tell us about
Okay,
you, a little about yourself. You're important too, It's not just Carlos important. You're important too.
I understand. Well,
Yes.
I'm a student of Brother Hero Aisha Musa Minelik. I'm also a student of Carlos Daley. Those two persons are my main mentor now.
Mhm.
Um, they have opened my eyes, well, in depth as to politics on a wider and broader scale, and how much we are all involved, and how important it is. So I am basically in the learning stage, and also I am very active with working with the two gentlemen, because both in my party and the Jamaica Patriotic Movement, I have been nothing but a instrument, as I stated before, a useful instrument, useful tool for the two individuals. I am a bit of a people person. Some might say I'm very jovial, easy to interact with, easy to relate to. Um, and yes, that's who I am.
Okay. So just for the record, what's your age group? Okay, you look like a pretty young man.
I'm 20 years of age.
You're 20 years of age. Let me bring on my other partner here, Ms. Janet Chakanowski, who is a director, one of the, I almost call her a founding director, but she's not a founding director, but she did it so long. It's almost like she's a founding director. She has been a director of the UIC since 2017. And if I'm not mistaken, she is the longest serving director on the board, outside of Mrs. Patterson and myself. So welcome, Ms. Chakanowski. We can't hear you. We're seeing you, but we can't hear you. And we can't even see you too well either. But no problem. Hang in there and see if we can fix your sound. I'll bring you back in a bit. All right, Mr. Campbell. So, Mr. Campbell, 20 years old, you're working with Mr. Carlos Daley and Iru Shaka Moses, who is the president of the Marcus Garvey People Political Party. Now, tell me, are these two groups, is the JPM a political party?
Well, no, it's not.
What
No,
is
it's
it?
not. Absolutely not. It's a movement for the people, as
Okay,
Carlos would like to
a movement for
classify
the
it.
people. And can you maybe expound on that a
Elaborate.
little bit so we can understand?
All right, sure, no problem. Um, Based on, well, not my expertise,
Mhm.
based on the two individual expertise and historical look on everything, we have seen where the system has crushed Marcus Garvey by informing him to follow into their regime and their regimen. And we realize that in following their regime and their regimen, basically they will have us in their loop and their strings until eventually we get frustrated and give up. Because if you looked at the last election, how many candidates were running, and then after the election, it's like nobody not hear from them again. I I have knowledge on what they did to Heru when they informed him that you need 5,000 signature. Well, at the time they did not say it was 5,000. At the time they informed him that he needed 10,000 signature.
Mhm.
And after the toil and stress and agony he went through to get the allocate the signatures, then them said to him, say based upon for them handwriting expert, them say that some of the signatures were basically what them are saying is that him sit down and write all of the signature them. So
Mhm.
um those are the little
They're calling him a fraud.
so those are the little tricks and trade. And then the bank account, setting up a bank account for the I mean, trust me, it is no secret as to who the government or the current government
So
um
hold on, don't go there so yet. I want to just
mm,
make sure I understand. What you're saying is the the Marcus Garvey Party and the People's Patriotic Movement or Jamaica Patriotic Movement have had significant problems in meeting the requirements of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica,
mm, that is correct. That is correct.
and they have also had significant problems opening a bank account.
Bank account.
So you mean pretty much the same as the UIC. We have gone through a lot of problems with the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. I had to fight with them directly for nearly a little bit over 10 months. Fought with them bitterly to overcome all of the hurdles. Because you know the ECJ was formed and the laws were passed to keep Jamaica in just two parties. And so what you're saying is you guys have experienced all of that and come to the conclusion that you can't work in another system there. That's what you're saying.
Can't work in the system. And not only that,
Hmm.
brother Hero had heard when he was running for a seat. Uh, the I don't remember the person name. I don't like I wouldn't like to say it out loud. But he heard for himself the person who was running up against him saying that they have to do something about the third party coming up as as opponents to them, because they cannot allow any more third party to have a magnitude um, 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 for the people. And it has been said in Parliament that the system would have no more third party. The only party that should be available to the public is JLP and PNP. So we understand that, we realize that, and we would be foolish
Hmm.
if we follow their regimen. That's all I'm saying, Sir Patterson.
Okay, got it. So what you're saying is that the JPM and the PPP will not be following the regimen prescribed by the ECJ or the laws of Jamaica that prescribes what should happen for political parties. They're not going to follow that.
Yes, that's basically what I'm saying. We're
So,
going about it a different way.
mm, so what is that way that you're going about it? What is the new way?
All right. First, that's why the conference is being held at the conference center, is to inform the public as to the challenges that we're having, inform the public as to the new constitutional reform that they're coming with. And because Sir Daley was making mention of the direct vote, and that how that is an opening where the public can vote directly for the president, and how he wants to use that as a way forward. So after informing the public, not educate, but inform the public, kind of highlight the dirty work that the current government is bringing, is are the challenges, are the barriers that they are pushing up on the third party, um um on
Mm-hmm.
how they can be a part of it, as it relates to breaking that regiment, and standing up for what they want, which is a change.
So tell me, I mean, I'm really curious to understand. Before I do that, let me just acknowledge Miss Ermina Campbell. Good to have you on, Miss Campbell. Thank you for your thoughtful words. Mr. Nico Stoney, always there. Thank you all as well for being on. Appreciate it. And Jojo says there are several independent political groups forming. I wish they would come together and work together to get these old party out. Very good point, Jojo. Yeah. Let me see. Miss Janet is working on her lighting. All right. So,
Because the reality is, no, Sir Patterson, sorry to cut you. It's
mhm,
power that we're dealing with. It's power that we're coming up against.
yes.
And they'll kill you flat out, blatantly, because it's a powerful thing, and no one is and no one is gonna sit back and allow another individual or another group to just come and take over. Nobody's gonna roll over and say, okay, here it is. No. So we understand that, and this time we're coming with a change, a
Mhm.
different rhythm, a different make that word. We're
Mechanism.
coming,
Mechanism.
make right,
Mechanism.
and
Hold on, though.
one that will have the people involved,
Mhm.
and one that will give the people an opportunity to stand on its own
So
and say, hey,
let's get very practical here now. I want to get
mm-hmm,
very practical.
get there.
What exactly? Because you have a conference coming up on August 20th. I know you have invited a number of groups. You have invited the UIC, and we have given you our tentative response, and we are in the process of giving you a more formal response. But what exactly, let me understand the strategy here. You're going to have a meeting, you're calling a conference, you're calling all these different groups together. And it's not the first time the UIC called people together as well. During the COVID crisis, we worked with a number of different groups, and we successfully prevented the government from injecting the entire nation. We held them to 20%. They wanted to force, they said initially, some 60, 70% and whatever. But we held them to 20% initially, and some of us went to jail in the process. But I want you to tell me what practically, how is this going to work practically? So we have a conference, what's going to happen at the conference, and how will that translate into your objective of bringing a revolution? Because when I read your manifesto and stuff on your website, um, I see the lofty words, but I am confused as to the methodology. Because if you're not a political party, let me rephrase it. The UIC, right? We have created a political party. We have gone through their system and fought with them so that them let we in, at least on paper. So they had to fly the gate, and we are now a officially registered. There are 4 registered parties in Jamaica. 4. Uh, the 2 colonial ones, the UIC is the 3rd one, and then one called the JPP, the Christian Party, where they're made up primarily of pastors and Christian, leaders who set them founding that. Now they have gone very dormant and very quiet since before the last election. So the UIC is the only vibrant, active, engaging, registered political party. So in about anywhere between 6 months to a year and 3 months, we're going to have an election. Um, The people of Jamaica will vote, even if it's only 37% of them who vote like the last time. And that will result in a government being formed. How will the Jamaica Patriotic Movement or the People's Political Party, who are not registered parties, how will you influence the outcome of that and be able to take charge of the government of Jamaica and bring forward the changes that I see being proposed in your manifesto online? How would that be accomplished practically? How do we move from where you are now to being in government in some shape or form to shape the policies and the legislation that will govern the Jamaican people? How would that happen?
All right, Sir Patterson, I am in um I'm in no authority to um spread that information, unfortunately.
Okay.
But mhm,
So in other words, you don't know or you're not prepared to share
I'm
what
not
those,
prepared.
or you're not
I'm not
prepared to share.
I'm not
Okay,
prepared.
so the rest of our conversation must be on something outside of telling the Jamaican people what the JPM. Let me see if Ms. Janet can come in now. So we will not be able to share tonight with the Jamaican people what the JPM, how the JPM plans to gain control of our government, not being a political party, but who has formed an alliance with the PPP, which is not a registered party. You're not able to tell us how that's going to translate into government. All right, so let's change the topic a little bit then. Um, you recently invited the UIC to join that alliance. Can you tell the people what does that mean? What are you asking us to join?
Well, basically, that meeting was about bringing all the small groups, movement, and political party under one umbrella, where we would sit and discuss each other manifestos and see where they are in alignment with with ours and each of us, each other in that space, and see how best we could work with all the small groups and small political parties and movements under one accord, one umbrella, one unity, to
Mhm.
reach our objective.
Okay, so you are inviting all the political parties to come together to discuss unity,
Mhm.
to talk about how we can work together. Now, that is a very laudable thing, and I can't disagree with that at all. Um, but we have to have a basis to start with because so far it seems as if it's unclear what the JPM wants to do. Well, let's talk about the PPP. How does the PPP plans to contest the next election if they're not a registered political party? How will they contest the election? Or they're not planning to contest it as the PPP?
Well, I would say not as the Marcus Garvey People Political Party, definitely not so.
Okay. Okay, so they will end up contesting it as the only way to contest the election is as a party or as an independent candidate. That's the only two ways. So in the next election, come the end of 2023 or sometime in 2024, when the Prime Minister sees it fit, because the laws of Jamaica is such that you the Prime Minister can call election at any time, provided it's within the 5-year window that based from the last time, his party won to the window. So within that 5-year window, which ends in early 2025, he can call an election. We know that he will look for the most opportune time to call the election. So he'll call it, for example, if tomorrow morning he wakes up and the situation seems favorable, he can call it. So the the UIC will be able to contest as a party. So on the ballot, you'll see UIC, you'll see the names of the other two colonial parties. You won't see anything else unless an independent is running. On the ballot, you'd see the name of the independent person. So does the PPP have candidates?
At this moment, a few,
Okay.
a small few, very
Right.
small.
Right. Now, I know that you invited us to be a part of an alliance. And the UIC, by the way, the UIC is already that invitation, because when we created the UIC, we call it the United Independence Congress. And the basis of the UIC is to unite independent thinkers, meaning persons who are now, they can think outside of the GLP and PNP box. Their minds are now liberated. They realize that that is a trick, that they were duped, they were tricked by the colonial masters, colluding with the PSOJ or plantocracy and the media that they control into thinking that these two parties are actually a choice when they're not a choice. They are in fact controlled oppositions, made to give us the impression of a choice. But whether we vote for one or the other, we're still voting for the PSOJ oligarchs. Good. So now the people should become aware of that, and the UIC has been teaching this very powerfully. So the question is now, will the independent thinkers, all those people who are independent minded, who have now realized that either of these two parties is a waste of time, will they unite with the UIC? In the UIC, because that is the body that we created for that purpose. That's what we have fought for. That's what we have suffered for. That's what I've taken a whole heap of licks for. So since we have that, why don't we all just join the UIC and pool our time, talent, and resources together and remove the impediment that we all see as an impediment? Why don't we just do that?
Well, we have been hearing some looking for the perfect word, disagreement within the UIC. Don't want to say that they are lies or whatsoever, but the UIC up to now is after the first meeting that we had, the sit down meeting, the UIC up to now has not came back and say, here is our formal response to the meeting, and let us see how best we can work with each other. Up to now, the UIC hasn't reach out to well, we do have a group, so reach out to the group, and we are still awaiting that. Sir.
Well, when did you have a meeting with the UIC? Wasn't it last Saturday?
Saturday, yes.
Saturday. So you know how any well-run organization will send a delegation to you. So our delegation was the chairman, Mr. Winston Wright, the vice president for the county of Surrey, which was Ms. Jasmine Powell, and our top-notch young lady treasurer, Naika Williams, who's just 2 years your senior. And those three effective representatives of the UIC came out and met with yourself and Carlos Daley and Heru, Aisha Moses of the PPP presidency, and a number of other persons, including Advocate Network and so on. So that was last Saturday. Since then, we have had to hold our internal meetings and made our decisions, and then a letter has to be drafted and sent to you now as a response. It's just a week. Tomorrow is one day closer to a week. When we get to a week yet. So that's a life going. It's not gonna happen very fast. It takes a few steps. But I can tell you what the decision is.
Okay.
I can tell you what it is, and I'm, because I have been given permission from the NEC, having discussed it fully, so I know what the decision is. But when you and I spoke, and you talked about an alliance, you mentioned two approaches. Can I say the two approaches? or not two approaches, but two examples of what a union might be. You might
I remember clearly.
So you suggested that the alliance could be like the United Nations, you know,
Mm,
where you have
yeah,
individual political groups and we form an alliance, but we retain our individual identities.
that's true.
And another example you gave was the BRICS.
Mm.
And I said to you, later on when you and I spoke, and we spoke afterwards, and I said to you, that approach is going to confuse the Jamaican people. When we go out and say we have this alliance, and you still hear PPP, you still hear UIC, you might hear about the Rastaman Party, you might hear about the Black Pan-African.
What might bring the confusion? What might bring the confusion?
So what I'm saying is, you're now going to the people, and it's a whole variety of names now that they're going to be hearing, and then trying to decide between, okay, who am I voting for here? So, you know, the PPP candidate or the UIC candidate or the whatever the next group is candidate. It will be very confusing. You will also have the case where you would not have coalesced around policy. So now you have to be explaining that, listen, even though you're electing an alliance here, you know, the policy of the PPP is up, and the policy of the UIC is down, and the policy of this other group is sideways. So it becomes a very difficult message, a very difficult arrangement, especially when you're asking people to leave the two established and entrenched parties. So the UIC's proposal is, let us go as one. Let us join together, have a discussion, which results in all the parties' leadership resigning. So me, I resign as president of the UIC, Carlos resign, Peru resign, all of us resign, and we bring together the entire membership. So all the members of all of these desperate groups, all these different groups, the membership is now combined, one membership. We agree on one name. We agree on one set of policies, a manifesto that we have crafted and agreed on. And then the membership elects the leaders from among the membership. So whoever, we're all going to be members. I'll be a member. I will no longer be President Joseph. I'll just be a member, Joseph Patterson, right? And Eru will be member Eru.
Yeah, I understand.
And so now,
Sir Patterson, you did not reach out.
Hold on.
I'm excited to hear that discussion.
So what will happen now is we, the people, this entire group of people now, elect president, vice presidents, treasurer, whatever it is, and now we go to the Jamaican people as a powerful force. One movement where we've brought together all of the different political splinter groups, small, medium-sized, whatever, and we become one. And we go forth with the full human and financial capital of that one massive body against two very powerful foes, which is not really two, a one with two heads. So this foe is a dragon with two heads, two monstrous heads, and behind them is a army with a chest that is full of money. $300 million, $400 million, $500 million. So they're going to throw all of that money at the Jamaican people. They're going to throw the might of the media because they own the media. So they're going to tell the media what to say. They're going to call we idiots. They're going to call we fools. They're going to send plans to join us. They're going to drop people in of our midst who say that they believe in the movement and will be out there carrying placards with us. But them have a sharp knife in the cloak here, so waiting for the opportunity to stab the leader in the back. So this is a serious matter. So the UIC can't afford for us to play games and go have a long talk.
No, I know long talk, Patterson. Sir Patterson.
One thing before you come in, I know you want to come in. We have an election just around the corner.
Yeah.
So this is what has happened in history. Every time the Jamaican people get fed up, the little part of them talk about unity for a few minutes, and they all gather quickly, unity, unity, and they waste time and energy while the enemy is sharpening its sword, sharpening its spear, building up its arsenal of ammunition, and they just cut us down. All the small, but they just cut us down quick, 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 because we are too egotistical, we're too disunited, and we spend a whole heap of time at chat, and can't organize and manage and carry out nothing. Your time now.
Sir P, that is an awesome idea. That's an excellent, a superb idea,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree with it. I let you know on the day we spoke that I agreed with. But you did not reach out. You did not reach out. I remember specifically, I connect you with Carlos Daley himself on the phone, giving you the opportunity to kind of launch it out. I just made
No,
mention of it.
hold on, Mr. Campbell, hold on.
Hmm.
When you and I spoke, just to be clear, because I want our readers, our viewers, our listeners to understand. When you and I spoke, and you said you love the idea, and you said you're going to take it back to your team, and I told you that what I just shared with you is my personal view,
Personal.
that I have not yet brought it to the National Executive Council. That's my personal view. And I told you that our National Executive Council is a democratic body. So when I go to them, they may or may not agree with my personal view. Now, once they have discussed, and thankfully they voted unanimously and they agreed with my personal view, and that makes perfect sense. With some amendments, the chairman made one very important amendment to my proposal, which I thought was ingenious, and he's a genius fellow, Winston Wright. And that proposal he made became a part of the final motion that we voted on in the group. Now, once we have voted on it, it is now passed to the Deputy General Secretary and the Chairman to formulate the letter to send to you. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Campbell, the UIC is a volunteer organization. So the Chairman has been busy job. The General Secretary, Deputy General Secretary have been busy job. And me are the only fool who have my busy job and still do a whole heap of stuff at the same time. So here what? They are formulating the letter and you will receive it. But the good thing is me and you are talking now, and now you know what the UIC position is. And so you can take that back to your group and you guys can discuss it and see if you want to go down the road. But you knew my personal position already. I told you. So you could at least broach that. Now when you called me up, suddenly, me and my office, I'm going to do my work. I'm an accountant, and I have to get through some financial report. And with some phone ring, and we say, what is now? I answer the call now because when the business still, but I answer the call, and then you say you're on the line, and then you say, I have Mr. Carlos. Now, I never prepared for talking to Mr. Carlos.
Oh.
So I spoke to him briefly, as you heard, and I asked him to just tell me, because I didn't know what is his real mission, what is his ambition, what is he trying to do. And then tell him to go read the website. And I said, all right, let me go read the website.
No, man. You said, what is the purpose of the call?
Yes, and he said, and we talked briefly. He said he just wanted to talk with me.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And I said, let's talk. And I said, tell me what is the mission of the JPM? What are you really trying to do? Because I still understand it. I know the PPPs are part of it. I know what their mission is. But I can't quite put my finger on exactly a clear mission. That's why I'm going to ask you that first. And that's the first thing I ask you, to get a full on what is the JPM really about? What are you trying to achieve? You tell me, you can't tell me, which is fine, your choice. But when I talked with him couldn't tell me either. Him said I must read the website. So I have taken the time and I have read the website. No, I can't read it right away. And so it took me some time since I called that to go sit down, and I've read through the website. I went and found your YouTube channel. I found one video on it, and I watched the one video. It was about 10 minutes long, and that gave me a bit of flavor. Then I found another video which was about 1 hour and something long. I couldn't watch all of that one, but I spotted. I kind of checked through, and I got a feel for him. So I kind of understand his thinking, I understand his rationale, I understand the gist of his policies. Now, I must admit that I don't agree with many things that I've heard him say, but I understand why he says it. He's coming at it from an untrained political eye, like a Jamaican person who has just, watched and seen things and then have and formulate an opinion, which is fine. Now, I'm an economist to the nth degree. So when it comes on to economics, I'm very careful. Finance, I'm very careful. Now, he's a finance man too, so I was a bit surprised at some of the things. But discussions can be had. But in any event, I now have made myself more aware of who Carlos Daley is and what the JPM is. And I can now speak to this issue, not just from an invitation, because I got a sudden invitation he gave me. So come join with. We can't join something. So I have to think about it. So now I have studied you. I have discussed it with you. I have had a brief conversation with Carlos, so I kind of get a feel for him as a person. I have discussed it with my peers in our NEC meeting, and I now have a very solid position on how I believe we should move forward. And thankfully, the NEC has agreed with me, and now we're ready to move. But we're not going to move blindly, and we're not going to move in a way that undermines the UIC's credibility and our work. So if you, the JPM, the PPP, and anybody else want to actually unite, we have a prescription, which is let us all get off our high horses, get off of our egos, put Jamaica first, and say, listen, all the leaders them step down. We agree on a strong, solid manifesto, pool our resources, pool our people, pool our talent, and go for it. And immediately, and for the first time in the history of Jamaica, replace the plantocracy, replace the colonial powers, and give Jamaica a true independent political movement for the people, by the people, and of the people.
I agree.
So we have a whole heap of people talking on the line here. Let's see what they're saying. Jojo says, I am tired of us attacking one another instead of moving in synchronized force. So am I, Jojo. I'm very tired of it too. And one of the reasons we fight each other so much, I saw them teach me. We were taught to be divided and trickery. Marcus Garvey tried desperately to get us to know, say, we are one. We must be one Jamaica. The real enemy are those who want to colonize us and divide us and give us IMF loans and give us all kind of foreign things and get our minds messed up. So we're on the same page. Mr. Nika says Janet Chokanowski was happening way, can't read that, can't follow. I'm seeing here, help me out a little bit there, young man, if you can see what is going on. You can help me with the chat. Let's see what I'm seeing here. So what is he doing now? He liked to make things personal. What are the issues facing Jamaicans? This should be the focus. All right. I don't know where that is coming from, Jojo. But so, Sir Patterson, what movement will have to register as a new? Okay, good question. So Miss Eunice Brown is saying now the new movement, do we have to register as a new political party? Now, I like to be very practical and pragmatic. We have already fought the dragon. And
Sir P.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. He spoke about unity and everything.
Yes.
And everybody coming under one order. And I understand and I agree. But my question to you, would you be willing to, you stated that you'd be willing to step down, but would you be willing to, it's something petty to me, but give up the name UIC?
Of course, yeah, the name is not important. We have to go beyond the name. Names are not important.
Yeah, the names are very petty.
The name itself, of course, you'd have to choose a name that is decent. So names are important in terms of branding and so on. So you have to choose a name that's decent. But the UIC is not critical. It can be UIC, it can be UBC, it can be UPP, it doesn't matter. But of course, we'd have to think it through and make an intelligent decision. But this point from Eunice Brown is critical. She's saying, Sir Patterson, the movement will have to register as a new political party again if it's not named. I think she meant the UIC. Now, what I would recommend to us, and in fact, not me, the chairman of the UIC recommended this. He says, listen, we have an election coming up right now. Why don't we agree to all unite, push the UIC through, have a what do you call now, a memorandum of understanding where you say clearly what our intentions are, our legal intentions are, because we don't have time to do a lot of stuff prior to the election. We can start the process, but we make sure now that everybody line up on the UIC. We elect whoever we can elect in this election. We sign an agreement that upon election, once we have completed the election, we immediately move to the process that we agreed to, and we just do that. Now, we would just be advising Ms. Brown, the ECJ, of the change of the name of the entity. So let's say we change the name from UIC. Let's say we call it JPP or JCP, whatever. We simply now let the ECJ know that we're still the same body. We have now changed our name from X to Y, and we have changed our office, if we change office, from X to Y, and we have changed our constitution. We've amended our constitution to say X and Y. So nothing. So we still keep our registered status, and our membership would have been brought together so the members know why we're doing this, and we change the name, and we change the constitution, and we're now registered. So we circumvent all of the tricks now that would play against us to say you need to go and re-register and recertify and all kind of stuff, and we'll move on. Hope that answers the question. Let's see what else we can read here. Help me, Mr. Campbell, if you pick up anything from anyone where they're asking a very important point or question. Somebody said, this is the most productive reasoning, nicely articulated, Sir P. Okay. Jojo says, one goal, one purpose. Excellent. One voice, even when there's disagreement. Yes, we have to have people who are professionals and intelligent. We can't have persons who, when they get voted off the board, they decide to go and publish internal documents, which is illegal, by the way. Now, when you sign a non-disclosure agreement and you go in public and disclose those things, you are now in violation of a legal agreement. And so this person may very well find themselves in some serious hot water as they continue to do that. Go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
Sir P, just for the people's sake,
Yeah.
you are saying that the Bagatata are necessary action time now.
Yeah.
But after the meeting where we all sit together and kind of concrete and cement from the foundation up as to our united force, you are willing, just for coaching, and just for the sake of everybody,
Yes.
you are willing to give up everything the UIC has strategized, including the manifesto, the constitution, the chairperson seats, whatsoever. You are willing to give that all up if
Go ahead, sentence before I say yes or no.
right, you're willing to give that all up if after the concrete and cement process, where the meeting with other small parties and small movement, after that process where everything is in an alignment and perfect standing, you're willing to give that all up.
Okay, I want to be clear, so I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm going to tell you what I'm saying and see if it's a yes. So what I'm saying is we have a two-step process. Process one is that given the short time between an election and now, we focus on electing the UIC. For example, Iru can run as a candidate and he is a UIC candidate or whoever. We run, we win or lose, whatever happens. After the election, we now sit down with a previous memorandum we would have signed before, which says that all of us are going to come together and we're going to agree. All the leaders will step down. So even, let's say UIC win 5 seats in the next election. I'm one of them, for example. And I'm the president of the UIC now. After the election, when we come together, I will step down as president. all the other leaders will step down as well. And our members will now elect new leaders from among all the memberships. A person might be elected who are not even currently leaders in any of the parties once we sit down and hear from everybody and whatever. We will agree on our manifesto, on our constitution, and so on. Now you're going to have horse trading because you're going to have I am going to passionately fight for the things that I know are right for Jamaica. For example, the protection of our individual sovereignty, the land reparation to put back the land in the hands of the people. So I'm going to fight for 98% housing security, so everybody must be able, so there are some key things that I am going to be pushing for, but in the understanding that we're all equal sitting around the table. So you're going to have Iru, myself, Daley, Mr. Wright, everybody around the table, and we're going to discuss and find agreement based on the memorandum we would have signed before the coming election, that's what we're going to do. But for expediency's sake, and not to stop the progress that we're making right now, but the UIC is making tremendous progress. A few months ago, you heard, we don't know about the UIC. Now, more and more Jamaicans right across now know about UIC. Foreigners, the diaspora, big on the UIC. Our donations are up 40% as I speak today, up 40% over last year. You understand me? The last 7 or 8 days, donations are up 229%, just if you compare that to the previous year. The last 30 days, donations are up 88% compared to the same period last year. So we're beginning, even with all the attacks and people shooting me left, right, and center and trying to discredit me and telling all kinds of lies, we are still progressing and making tremendous gains. So what we have to do now, we don't want to now waste time, enter into unification talks and drag out our time. We don't have it because we're working people, all of us. None of we, Andrew and Mark, they're getting paid every day. Every time you open your mouth to talk politics, Jamaican people are paying them and the PSOJ is paying them. Me and you, I don't know about you, I'm not too sure who is paying you, but me not getting a pay, Mr. Wright not getting a pay, Mr. Chase not getting a pay, Miss Powell not getting a pay, Miss Coretta not getting a pay, Miss Naika, well, Naika get that because she's the admin assistant. And so, but most of us, 99.9% of us in the UIC, we're not getting a pay. So when I sit down, Mr. Campbell, and spend my time and write a manifesto like the one that we have, when I sit down and spend my time and build an economic model like the one that we have, and build a governance model, this is my time. My wife is losing my time. Sometimes we should have their bed with her. We hug up and both me do UIC business. My kids denied my time. My business denied my time. I lost 75 boxes of bees because I wasn't paying attention to my business. Each box is $33,000 a box. My time. When I got to jail, it cost me $4 million. My time. So when people sit down there and talk, they can talk because they have not even suffered a microscopic amount of the cost and time and pain and suffering that I have endured. So they can talk. So they know what I talk about. So when you hear me saying I am willing to step down from the presidency for us to unite, I'm not saying that lightly. I'm saying it because I want us to overcome the sickness in our head that they have planted in it, the division, the ego, the fight to hold on to our little turfs while the nation will die. You understand me? We are kill each other while we have two parties that are kill us. So these two parties are kill we. Them are tea from we every day. Them raise them pay massively because they want to have the money to run the next election. The Prime Minister is writing checks left, right, and center for them to go spend because they know that they're losing the people. They're losing the people, but they can't afford for the people to fall in the hands of the UIC. Because if the people fall in the hands of the UIC, the gravy train done. We'll cut off the PSOJ umbilical cord for them have a control the system. the Jamaican people finally get reparation. Not the one that they're tricking us, but they're talking to foreign masters and break them. Give the people them land now. So they don't want that because they need to keep the land for themselves. So they don't want a UIC that's going to return land. They don't want a UIC that's going to change the education system so our people understand money and understand market and understand the trickery of the IMF and the banking system. So they're afraid, Mr. Campbell. They're shaking in their boots because they know the Jamaican people are shifting. That is why you don't hear the UIC being talked about in the news and the radio. Because the moment the people fully get to hear from us and we look legit, because in Jamaica, you look legit if you're on television. If you're on TV, you're legit. Even if you don't know what you're talking about. You understand? You're legit because they have you on TV and you're talking on TV, so you must be legit. So that's the kind of mindset they know that the ordinary, typical person is having. But we have to change that, Mr. Campbell. So go ahead, your turn.
But to be real with you, Sir P, most of the things that the UIC is saying, most of the things that everybody is saying, is the same thing. Is the same thing. Is it the same things that are on everybody manifesto? Most of the things that are on everybody manifesto, everybody talk about, is the same thing. Everybody are regurgitate. But your strategy.
Not really true, you know, not true. The UIC,
most things.
But what happened is the UIC has been teaching the people. The UIC, there are three things about the UIC that you must understand. I'm hearing a feedback like a something playing in your background, like a radio or something. Most people in the UIC has three things that we have been pushing in Jamaica: unity, liberty, and empowerment. So we want to unite, liberate, and empower the people. And so we have been teaching the people things. Most Jamaicans didn't understand. They didn't even realize it's 80 years that them have them two parties. They thought it was like 60 because of independence. And we teach them no at 80. So don't let them off the hook that them still learn. At 80 years, them have no. So in 80 years, they should have gave back your land. That's number one. Okay, good. We also taught the people that the problem is governance, the model, the system of governance that divides us, allow them to distract us and extract our wealth from us. We teach the people that. We teach the people that the land is there by birth. It is theirs by inheritance. So they shouldn't be buying it. They shouldn't be working and slaving now to buy back the land. We teach the people that property tax is a trick because it's meaning you never own the land, you're paying rent. So we have been teaching the people, and as that teaching is seeping out, because even on the radio and TV, you know, some of the talk show hosts, they're not borrowing things from us, but they're not saying it to the people. So they talk now intelligent and ask questions, but it's really we them to learn from. So we have been educating, informing, even yourself. As you watch the UIC, your brain cells start to change. You start to think. It's a tingle little ways, and you think, oh, I just learned it on my own. No, we are planting the seed. So the UIC has been planting these seeds from the start this movement in 2012. And when I started it, I said to my wife, I'm not going to make any big announcement. All the other third party them, when they come up, what they do? They make big things, big website. They call big press conference, and they pop champagne and tell the world what grand things they're going to do. I said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to take our time and just build up gradually so that we last, so that we become resilient, we build up steam. We're not come out puffing and just smoke. We're going to build up ourselves, build up. So 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, many people were with me left because they were a part of the gay movement and I didn't know, and they were trying to push their gay thing. I would say, no. 2015, 16, another bunch left because they were really JLP. But when they said the party now start to rise back up, and they were using the UIC to bash the PNP, and then they left us again. So a long time into this, I'm fully get to understand now all the different groups of people and the tricks. The latest one just happened now. The latest knife just draw out, they stop in the back, and we went and beat the one, the two. We beat all of them. We have overcome every single thing they've thrown at us. And we're going to beat this latest one. And after we beat the last one, this is it. We're going to turn the corner now. The steam build up, the power build up, and we're going to bust out. While the other third parties, them come strong at the front end, tell a whole heap of things. The JPP, they're going to pay off the debt in 7 days. They're going to bring in ships and bring all kind of foolishness. And people just look at them and laugh. Let us be sane. Let us be sensible. Let us be practical. So the UIC has been very practical and methodical in our building. Yes, some people don't like me because I'm strict. I'm a performance person. If you can't perform, you either acknowledge, learn, humble yourself. And if you can't humble yourself, then you're going to lose. You get fired. And so we fired her one day. I know she's going to try to bring me down. And we'll fire some more before that. And I'm going to try to bring me down. I'm going to fire anybody who can't do the work. If you can't do the work, no problem. Tell us you can't do the work. Adjust yourself and learn. But don't bother to become pompous and arrogant and things because you're being held accountable. You must know watch me when I bring you down. You can't bring me down. You're bringing down Jamaica. You're bringing down yourself. I can't be brought down. I cannot be. I have already attained in my own mental sphere and physical sphere all that God has endowed me to do. I am simply lending myself now to the Jamaican people. If the Jamaican people reject me, that's fine. That's their choice. I will go to my grave a very happy and comfortable man because I would have done what I am called to do. I don't need to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. I don't need to be President of the Republic of Jamaica. What I want though is to know that I've given my best for us to have a safe, clean and orderly Jamaica, one where everybody can live, earn and retire with dignity in a free country. And we must have true liberty in the process. Life, liberty and property, and that we want. And any way we can get it, I'm going to work for it. But I will never violate my conscience or violate my values. You can tell all the lie you want on me, but I will not lie on you. I will always tell the truth. So if you're a bad performer, I'll say you're a bad performer. And if you want to kill me for it, like I say, just the same way. You can say I'm doing something wrong, but I know it's not true, so I don't have to worry. Ask my teammate, I'll tell you, any one of them, they can come to me and tell me anytime whatever they think I have done wrong, and I will own up to it if I have done it. But you must be able to take the same. Like I tell you too. If you can't take it, that's how it goes. Your turn.
Powerful. Powerful. The strategy that you have made mention of earlier, as it relates to just moving through with the UIC and then afterward building a different strategy and a different party as it relates to the name and the whatsoever. That is brilliant in and of itself. And but the thing is, you were talking about some people that bring down type of people. When if you get into their business or whatsoever.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, but the Cameron, that name ring a bell, I believe.
Yes.
Be open with the people and be open with me because I am tell the truth. Me no know and the people don't know. But we see the breakaway where Cameron start up Jamaica, then left from UIC and do them stuff. But kind of educate me because I don't know and I really want to know. Honestly.
What do you want to know? What specifically do you want to know?
Why did he break away and started?
You'd have to ask him.
What was the
I can't speak for him. I mean, I don't know why he broke away. I can't tell you that. What I can tell you though is that much of what he shares with the public is false. That I can tell you. For example, Mark Cameron was not a founding member of the UIC. He was not a founder. He did not help to create anything in the UIC. I met Mark Cameron for the first time when I was running as an independent candidate. in 2016. The UIC was not yet a recognized political party, and I ran as an independent right here in Northeast St. Elizabeth in 2016. Mark found me and attached himself to me. He followed me around. He called up a few television stations and radio, and I got some interviews back in the early stages. You'll see him beside me in some pictures. And he was there. We even tried to do some stuff together where we did some t-shirt printing and all of that for some young people. But the UIC was not something that he didn't have the capacity. Mark doesn't have the capacity for designing the things that we did. He was on the periphery, and he was there. He's a kind of, Mark is a what do you call it now? Somebody who he danced around the edges. A great cheerleader. He was there around the edges, but he did not formulate anything. He did not sit. He couldn't sit still for a second. So Mark was eventually. I asked him to serve as a VP, and I appointed him. He failed dismally, so we had to vote him off the board. He served for a very short stint as VP, but he couldn't perform. He doesn't have the competences, or he would tell you he didn't have the time. So one or the two, maybe the time or the competence, I don't know. But he was not able to perform in the capacity as a vice president. He has never sat down to help draft a line in our constitution. He has not helped to formulate a single policy. I have shared with him, for example, he had came up with the idea of having national debates, and he said, all candidates should participate in national debates. I said, yeah, Mark, that's a good idea. That's it. Mark has not contributed any other significant ideas. He has not written a single policy. He didn't attend almost any meetings at all. So
no monetary funding.
Oh, he gave $25 once. That I remember. He gave $25 one time. He paid his membership fee once. He has never paid the monthly fee. So Mark has been a non-member for a long time. He talks to people about me in the UIC. He used to big me up a lot on his platform and stuff like that. But some people are quite strategic. They're quite self-serving, and so they try to play one. Look it up in the Art of War. You will see it. They try to play one thing, but they have another agenda in mind. But in any event, Mark has not been a key. He said he brought a lot of people to the UIC. Where are they? I don't know who the people are that he has brought to the UIC. If that's the case, they should have all left with him and taken their money with him. And we've never had any major loss of donors. When the previous detractors left us, they left with their money, whatever dollar they were contributing, but they never seriously affected our donor base. Every time they attack us, our donations go up. Every single time. Right now, our donations have gone up. In May, when Carlos Gray, the Jamaican Carlos fell on them, made their major attack on us, our donations went through the roof. People saw through them and said, sorry, not going to happen. People tripled and doubled their donations. So every time they attack Joseph Patterson and the UIC, they help us financially because more people donated. So Mark Cameron has never been and is not a founding member of the UIC. Mark Cameron wasn't anywhere near when me and Craig McKenzie and Janice Collins, my wife, and all those other folks were busy working and formulating and trying to get our thing up and going. He wasn't there. But now he's telling people he was. No, that's his choice. I don't know why he's doing it, and I can't speak to his motives, even though it's kind of clear. But Mark has not been and is not. What he wants to do right now is to co-opt the UIC message. He wants to be able to say that somehow he was a part of creating that. I don't mind sharing, but dishonest sharing I can't do. Mark has not, and I repeat, he has not contributed anything significantly in terms of our policies or constitution. He followed me around when my car broke down, because traveling. My truck broke down up near to Mandeville, and him drive me to somebody you know, and him stay there with me, and we fix the car. Appreciate that, Mark. Much appreciated. Him go interview at CVM, and him come with me, and him sit down. I was doing an interview with the Observer, and he was there. He sat beside me, and my wife was there, and he said his piece as well. But that no means, Mark, you create nothing. Stop trying to take credit for things you haven't done, boss. You haven't done it. You sit down, Mark, right now and try to go through a manifesto with him. He'll be, He doesn't know anything. In all honesty, Mark, stop it, man. Behave yourself. You see an opening, you saw an opportunity where people are leaving, some people are trying to break up the movement, and you see an opportunity to jump on the boat with them, and you jump on the boat with them to see if you can get something going, get some traction for yourself. It's okay, Mark, you can go build a party. Nothing is wrong. Build any party. Anybody can build a party. I'm okay with that. Build your party. You don't need to try to tear me down to build your party. Just go build your party. If you want to take all of our manifesto and say that is yours, go do that. That's fine. Because if we have six parties in Jamaica preaching the UIC manifesto, I'm quite happy with that. So that's okay. You don't have to say that it's you who make it though, because that's a lie. But you can, in fact, go ahead and form your party. You try your best and get those people together and go through what I have gone through and build your party. That's fine. You have every right. I have no monopoly on political parties in Jamaica. But don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, and don't try to destroy anybody's character in the process. You cannot build a solid character by destroying another man's character. And the funny thing is, you can't destroy my character because of me build that. You can try to defame me. You can try to tell people bad things about me to play with their minds. But my character, Mark, that is sound and solid. I build that. And when you build your character, that's like your credit score. Nobody can take it from you. And you build that. So I build my character, Mark. Go build yours.
Understand 100%. As I just wanted to understand, because I don't know, but you say not tell lie, and that is the truth. So it's nothing but the truth. And I respect that.
Miss King is saying something here though. Donna King, she said, Mr. P, be careful of this new party. Why he wants the UIC to drop the manifesto when the manifesto is what makes the UIC separate and apart from all other political parties. I agree with you, Ms. Donnery, that the manifesto of the UIC is what sets us apart. I don't think Mr. Campbell is asking us to drop it. It's just that when you have different groups coming together, then everything is on the table, right? You put it on the table and you discuss. I will do my best to explain to my fellow Jamaicans why the UIC's manifesto is the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm not saying it because I was instrumental in its writing. I'm saying it because when you study it carefully, it's the first political manifesto in the history of Jamaica that recognized the importance of protecting our individual sovereignty. If we had this manifesto back then, what happened during the COVID crisis could not have happened, because this manifesto, this constitution, the UIC non-partisan constitutional republic, would have protected our individual rights from everybody, from the government, from the private sector, from the international forces. It would have fully protected us. So number one is that. Number two, our governance model. Jesus, just think about it. This model, the whole world will want it when they see what we're doing, when they see the kind of checks and balances that we have put in place to protect the interest of the people. No more corruption because of how it sets the different elements against each other. So you have the Senate now being fully empowered as an independent body of the House, and the executive being fully separate from the two, and the judiciary being appointed in a way that gives them their independence while still making them accountable, and the minister of government being subject matter expert as opposed to being politicians. Powerful. And I'm not saying this just because I am the inventor of it. I'm saying it because it is powerful. It will even constrain me. When I am elected president of the First Republic of Jamaica, for example, I am constrained by it. I can't suddenly become a dictator because that system constrains me. Most politicians don't do that, Mr. Campbell. They want to design things. Look at our prime minister. Every minute, he might try to break the existing law, even the one we him create. He tries to set up an offshore company to avoid taxes here. He tries to get senators to sign on dated letters so that if them do him want, he can quickly and fully kick them out. He tried to manipulate the Chief Justice so he can keep him as a temp, and if he not perform the way he want him to perform, he can kick him out. He's always trying to circumvent even the limited checks and balances we have. While I, Joseph Patterson, and the UIC is saying, let's have a system that's almost foolproof. I have to say almost, because no system is 100% perfect. No man-made system is 100% perfect. But I can assure you, this is as close as to perfection as we're going to get, and we'll still try to improve on it. So Mr. Craig McKenzie says, explain practically how land reparation will be carried out. Say if I fall in the category, how would I get my piece? Good question, Mr. McKenzie. Sir Campbell, you want me to answer that? It's a little bit off topic, but I can answer it. So the UIC begins with the premise that the land fully belongs to every indigenous Jamaican. I'm using the word indigenous in a very pragmatic way. All the people who were enslaved here on this piece of land, by virtue of their enslavement, the theft of their labor makes them entitled to the land and their heirs. Okay, so all the children that were born from them are entitled. This land belongs to them by birthright. It's the least we can do to repair the damage that was done. So the land belongs to you. It's just like in the Middle East, where the oil in the land belongs to the people. So when the government bring even a company in and they pull the oil and sell it, even though another company come and add value and pull the oil, the oil belongs to the people. So the dividends, the people get a check every month. They get a check for the dividends from that property, the oil. The Jamaican people's dividend comes from the land. So no private company must own land in Jamaica. No external company or foreigner should come here and own land, because the land belongs to the people. So we can lease it. We can allow a company to work at massive acres and produce things, but the profits from that must always be shared with the people. So by design, we're going to make sure that every Jamaican has a financial interest in the land, even if they don't have a physical piece that they're going to use. So the land belongs to them by virtue of birthright. So the value of that land must come to them. So the next thing we're going to do to make it practical now is follow the Singaporean model with some improvement. Every Jamaican family must have access to a quality and decent home and an affordable structure to pay for that home over time. So you get the benefit now and you pay for it over time. So you're talking about decent living room, decent kitchen, decent bathroom, decent home, well designed and well built for you, and you pay for it. Now, those of us who are richer will pay for ours quicker, and those of us who are poorer will pay for ours over time, but it's highly subsidized so that it's affordable for every strata of persons, and nobody is pushed into a poverty-stricken or horrible kind of housing, because they have mixed housing, just like they did in Singapore. So you don't have any ghettos anymore. You don't have any shanty towns. You don't have any garrisons. All of Jamaica is now developed into a quality residential, agricultural, industrial complex. All the roads, all the streets, all the sidewalks, everything is built for the full enjoyment of the people. So whether you're rich or poor, you're now living in a very beautiful and well-managed and well-maintained Jamaica, no matter how poor you are. So poverty will kind of dissipate very quickly. Why? If you give people quality residence, if you make sure all the children get a quality nutrition, quality food, good food, so that their brain cells can operate properly, and then give them a quality education from basic school. So in our basic school system, you must have a master's degree. So we're going to help our teachers to get masters. You want high quality person teaching your babies. You want a mother from the moment she's impregnated, she's under careful attention health-wise, so that the fetus develops properly in her. She's eating good food. So we're going to take our human capital to a new level. We're going to treat our people like eggs. You're going to now look at them. Every human being is critical. So we're going to build the mass of our human capital by focusing on the quality development of our people, from conception to birth to the early years in school, right through. Our program will make sure once you can do it, you get up to the highest level of education. So you want to go to PhD, as long as you can manage it, you're gone. Masters, you're gone. Undergraduate, you're gone. Trade school, if that's what you're capable of, trade school, you get your technical diploma in plumbing, carpentry, automotive, whatever it is. So we're going to treat our people like gold. And when you do that, Mr. Campbell, you're now going to have one of the most intelligent, well-developed human beings on the planet. Singapore did it, and we're going to go even better. We're going to give our people one next step up. So watch me. Housing is good, healthcare is good, nutrition is good, education is solid. You've eliminated poverty. Now, of course, some people are still going to fall down on your luck. That's a part of life. You won't have everybody being at the same level, but everybody can enjoy a beautiful country. Everybody can have access to affordable housing. Everybody can have access to decent healthcare. Everybody can have access to an education system that allows you to go as far as you can physically go. And as a result of that, the economy will rise exponentially. Our GDP per capita will exceed that of most other countries because of our model, which, by the way, it's proven in Singapore to work. The only difference between us and Singapore will be that we are going to have a greater emphasis on protecting individual sovereignty than they have in Singapore. But we're going to have a similar economic model in terms of investing in our people and making them merit the growth in their status and the growth in their economic outcomes. And that will spread its way through the political system, because now the model eliminates corruption, so we're not losing billions of dollars into all kind of corrupt schemes, but instead that money is going into our children, into our families, into our communities, and making us one of the richest nation on earth, not just wealthy in money, but socially, in terms of the quality of life that everybody, rich or poor, young or old, will be able to enjoy. So that's the model, Craig. I could say more, but I have to reserve some, because our two colonial parties watch all of my programs, and in short order, you will hear it in Parliament, in their own words, getting the television and the radio news to carry it, and the people won't know that it's Joseph Patterson or the UIC. They'll think it's Andrew or Mark. So we have to be a bit reserved. But believe me, we have a solid plan. And they can copy it, they can just look at what Singapore do. They'll see much of it. And then we add on our additional intellect to that and learn from them, build on it. For example, our agri plan, they can go copy. Nobody's stopping them. They can go copy what is done in the Netherlands. The Netherlands is the second largest producer of food, exporter of food. They can go copy it. But we have politicians who they only copy the bad things. We can copy what they have done. We can build on it, because we have better quality land than they do. We have better environment than they do. We're just not optimizing that environment and optimizing that land. The UIC is going to optimize our agriculture. We're going to be the organic food capital of the world, not because we could not have done it before, but because we have leaders who didn't do it. We're going to do it. All right, so we have now exhausted our time. It's now 1 hour and 28 minutes. Mr. Campbell, you get to say your last word before you go. Anything you want to say before you leave us, and then I'll close off.
Well, it is imperative, I believe, it is imperative that we have a conclude meeting again with all the small parties and the small movement across the diaspora, and see how best we can lean into your idea, our motion. But I, for one, as I said before, I agree strongly agree, but can't speak for everyone else.
Sure.
But it's a pleasure. It's pleasure being here. It's pleasure talking to you, Mr. P. And you'll hear from me again, certainly.
No problem. It's my pleasure too, and I was glad to have you on. And I think our viewers got a little more understanding of the JPM and the PPP and what we can do together. So I'm looking forward to us working together and achieving the objective. Thanks again, Mr. Campbell. Have a good night. All the best to you. Let me just close you off now and speak to my audience before I go. All right? Take care. All the best. One Jamaica. Stronger together. Respect. All right. So, folks, that was Mr. Antoine Campbell of the People's Political Party. It was a wonderful conversation. I enjoyed my chat with him, and I look forward to us moving forward, with that. Thanks to all of you on the call. Sorry we couldn't get all of your comments and questions in. Craig, I saw your comment on the tax. I will deal with that another day. Thanks to all of you out there. Please, I know there's somebody sending you a whole heap of message, a whole heap of negatives and destructive information out there. Don't be swayed by it. Don't be discouraged. Don't be negatively impacted. See it for what it is. Another attack on the UIC, another attempt to stop us. But them can't stop us. We're going to move forward. So whatever they send you, delete it or watch it or listen to it. But know this, the UIC is here to stay. And Joseph Patterson is 100% committed to you having good governance, not only in Jamaica, but here in the UIC. And anyone who is not prepared to do what is necessary to protect the good name and reputation of the UIC and to help us to build a movement to meet the needs of our people, then they don't belong in the party. And we are going to act accordingly. So thanks again for all of your support. Please go to our website, uicjamaica.com, join, volunteer, and donate. And don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and share. The more people you get to subscribe to the UIC channel, the more we can reach them. Thanks again. Have a good night. And remember, one Jamaica, we're stronger together. Take care until next time.